championships and to get things going here this week.
Yeah, this opportunity as a whole is surreal. I think when we drove into Arlington yesterday, it was just a crazy moment being able to see the Cowboys Stadium and then the Ranger Stadium where we're playing tomorrow. It's just a cool feeling as a whole. I think as a team, we were kind of saying that for an MLB player, this is probably the nicest stadium they've played in. For a college player, this is unbelievable. So just a great to be here. So.
Well, Dom, just kind of reflect a little bit more on what you just said. You get to play in an MLB stadium. I know you guys had a little bit of a practice and there a couple hours ago. Just what do you think it's going to be like to pitch in a major league ballpark like that?
Yeah, it's going to feel pretty cool as a whole, I think. But at the end of the day, it's just another game for all of us. I think we got to treat it as another game. But obviously, to take it in as a fan, it's a very cool moment to be part of that stadium, knowing that there was a World Series there last year, and that's got to be in the back of our mind. So.
When did you get word that you'd get the Tuesday start, and what's your reaction to that?
I was told that after my outing on, I think it was Friday when we had that doubleheader, and I was very excited. You know, it's an honor to be given the ball for game one, and it's just my turn to get the job done. That's how we view it.
You are going up against the Cincinnati Bearcats. You were, of course, the starting pitcher for the one victory you were able to get over the Bearcats when you faced them during the regular season. What do you take from that matchup against the Bearcats going into this one now with postseason stakes on the line?
Yeah, I think we just take it as they were a very good team. They took 2 out of 3 at our place, and that's got to motivate us a little bit to make sure that we got to beat them on a neutral site. And I think it motivates us a whole lot to come out hungry and get a win tomorrow.
What from that series did you see that you need to improve on during this big game?
I think in general, we just got to be better in tighter situations. And I think throughout the season, we've had a whole lot of playoff-like atmosphere games that now it's just the time to turn it on and take our game to the next step.
How would you describe your last outing on Friday?
I thought it was good. I thought it was all right. I thought it was what it needed to be to get ready for this outing today or tomorrow.
How do the guys feel about playing Cincinnati? This is a team that obviously a lot of these players are familiar with. You've played them in previous years. It was just a couple weeks ago. They won 2 out of 3 at home against you guys. How do you feel about playing Cincinnati again?
Yeah, I think regardless of who we played, because up until we were supposed to play West Virginia, and that it didn't matter who we played. We're just excited, ready to play, and hungry. So I think it doesn't really matter who we're playing. We're just, at the end of the day, playing against ourselves.
How is the team's momentum coming into this tournament after taking 2 of 3 against Baylor?
I think it's been pretty well. I think being able to go on the road and take 2 out of 3 from a very good team, and even though the record didn't reflected that we're just hungry and ready to play another game. So I think we know what's at stake. Cincinnati knows what's at stake. So just playoff baseball at the end of the day.
This team beat preseason projections. Why do you think this tournament is wide open for UCF?
I think because when you look at the field and who we've beaten, I think that at the end of the day, we play our style of baseball that we're able to beat any team. And I think that goes for anyone else, that when they're playing their style of baseball, they can beat anyone in this country. So it's all a toss up about who's hot that day and who's ready to show up.
Dom, most of the projections, basically all of them have you guys in the field of 64 currently. Yeah. But how much of a sense of urgency is there in Texas to get a win or two to make sure that's solidified come Selection Monday?
Yeah, we know it's at stake at the end of the day, and I think other teams who aren't in the field know it's at stake and that they're trying to beat us now because we're in that field. So we're at the end of the day hungry that we're trying to make sure that we're in it come Selection Show Monday.
Last time we spoke with some of the team, do you guys have real belief that you can go deep in the Big 12 tournament? What allows you guys to believe that even through some of the inconsistencies that you guys have had this season?
Yeah, I think we've shown that, especially come late in the ball games, that we're able to fight back. And I think at the end of the day, pitching and defense wins ball games in the playoffs. And we've shown that we have an unbelievable pitching staff and that we can play defense with the best of them. So I think that's what allows us to think that we can make a run and honestly win this thing.
I'm just kind of reflecting on that, all Big 12 second team honor. Yep. What's kind of different about this season for you? Obviously, you've taken a big step up from your first year at UCF a year ago. I know you had your freshman year at Stetson. What changed? What really improved for you this year to have such a great year?
I think just given a pitching coach that I was able to trust in, I think Drew does a great job with me and the whole pitching staff as a whole. And lucky enough, I was able to get the award, but I think there's plenty of other guys on the staff that should have been deserving of it too. So I think I'm lucky enough to get the award, but we as a whole staff had a great year. So.
Well, there were 5 other guys that were named all Big 12 honorable mention. Just what do you have to say about their performance, like Castellano, Kramer?
Yeah, I think they've been terrific all year, and I think honorable mention was still I think they deserve first and second team, but I think as a whole, we had besides the 5 honorable mentions, we should have had more guys on that list. So I think it just feeds us a little extra motivation to obviously attack the Big 12 tournament.
Describe what it's like to play in the Big 12 now that you've gone through the whole season. I mean, you're always going to be a part of that first UCF team to compete in the Big 12. Describe what it's been like.
Oh, it's been unreal. I think looking back, we always envisioned as a kid growing up to be playing against schools like Texas, Oklahoma, and now that we've been given the ability to play them, it's kind of a cool moment. But at the end of the day, we got to treat it as a normal team another day, and that if we sit there and start staring and reminiscing on the good old days, that we're not going to do what we want to do as a team.
Kind of referencing to before, you guys beat your preseason predictions. You guys have played to a higher level than a lot expected. Are you still using that as a chip going into this tournament?
Yeah, 100%. I think at the end of the day, we're always giving doubters, haters in our lives that, to be obviously from a Power 6 going into a Power 5 conference, that, it just motivates us to work a little bit harder and, be a little hungrier when it comes to moments like this.
You mentioned chip there. Cincinnati, as of right now, is currently listed as one of the first 4 out according to certain projections. And of course, you're in the field as well. When you think about the postseason implications that go into a game like this, how do you kind of get yourselves into a mindset to go out there and just treat it like any other game?
Yeah, I think if we think the moment's a little bigger than it has to be, I think that's when we don't play our best. And that at the end of the day, we got to treat it as if we're playing, Little League baseball in the backyard, baseball, wiffle ball, and just let our natural habits take over. And we've worked hard enough up to this point that there's no reason to stress the game tomorrow and make it be bigger than it has to be.
Take us back through seeing the stadium for the first time during a walkthrough. What was it like to be inside the venue and know that you'll be pitching there on Tuesday?
Oh, it was definitely insane. I think last year in the Clearwater Conference Tournament gave us a little taste of being in at least a minor league ballpark stadium, and this has just topped it by a ton. So it's a very cool feeling as a collegiate baseball player.
Dom, what's it like when you're on the road for such a long period of time? You guys obviously went to Baylor early and, staying in Texas for the tournament. How do you guys kind of pass the time when you're on the road for so long?
Yeah, I think a lot of us brought video games on the road to pass time, and I think it gives us a great opportunity to hang out as teammates and bond a little bit more. So, and we also had a nice little bus ride over from Waco, Texas. So I think at the end of the day, it gives us a little more time to hang out with each other and feel like more of like a brotherhood than just like teammates.